Chapter 19. The Temptation. Near the railway line, in the Nicolina district of Iași, was a small house surrounded by flowers and apple trees. This was home for my cousin Cornelia, whom I had chosen to be the soloist of the children's choir. She lived there with her parents, 2 sisters and a brother. The house was poor, with mud floors, and had a kitchen with a wood-burning stove in the middle, on which they cooked their food. But Cornelia liked it there. She especially liked the whistles of the trains passing by, and the crowing of the roosters in her yard. She was 14, with light brown, long curly hair. She had big blue eyes, a few freckles, and dimples in her cheeks when she smiled. She also had a beautiful voice, which she had given to God since she was 7. The children's choir was proud of her, and she was known in many churches in Romania. But her beautiful voice stirred the jealousy of the television station and the local Communist Party. One day Cornelia was called into the conference room at school. 3 men and 2 women sat behind a long table covered with a red tablecloth. They stood up and shook hands with her. "I'm the president of the television station," said a fat man dressed in a smart suit. "Take a seat. We heard that you have a marvelous voice, as soft as velvet and as strong as a waterfall. We came to make you a proposal. How would you like to sing on a national television?" "Oh, that sounds wonderful," Cornelia's face beamed. "You will be paid each time you perform," a lady next to him added. "And you will be seen and heard on prime time every Sunday. What do you think about that?" "We will take you everywhere by taxi," another man said with a wink. "It will mean, of course, that you will have to quit singing for God in the Baptist church." "What will I sing?" Cornelia asked anxiously. "You will sing folk songs," replied the television man. "That sounds exciting," Cornelia replied, biting her lip. "If you cooperate," said the president of the Pioneers organization, "you might have the chance to go abroad and take part in international competitions." She was a woman dressed like Cornelia herself in a pioneer's uniform, a white blouse, pleated blue skirt, and red scarf with the communist insignia. "I would love to go abroad," Cornelia said. "No, you have to give us an answer in 1 week," added the television president. "Is that all right?" "Yes, of course." That day, teachers treated Cornelia kindly, which they never had done before. "Hi, Cornelia," the math teacher greeted her. "How are you?" "Fine, thank you," she said, blushing. "He doesn't usually notice me." "Cornelia, I want to invite you out for a cake," the Pioneers president of her class said one day, when she met her in the hall. "Thank you, what's going on?" This is the first time she has spoken to me.
Soare
Cornelia went home from school, thoughtful that day. What shall I do? She asked her mother. Well, would be proud to see you on television, her mother said. They really must want you. But who will sing as the soloist in the children's choir? Cornelia wondered. Your sister Miceta has quite a good voice too, said her father. Maybe she can take your place. That night Cornelia could not sleep. What shall I do? What will the children say if I leave the choir? They prayed for me for years, and Theodore took so much trouble to train my voice. What about Genovieva, who wrote special parts for me to sing? The next Sunday, she went to the choir practice early. She had to speak to me. I'm so glad you came early, I said when I saw her. I wanted to talk to you. Listen, you know my oldest brother, Dionysia. He has just visited me secretly. He's an English teacher. I lowered my voice. He had to sign papers that he would never have anything to do with the church. That was the only way he could get a job as a teacher. Anyway, he told me that he took part in a regional conference with teachers from all over Moldavia. Hundreds attended. Listen, this is private. Nobody else should know. The president of the Communist Party talked at length about our children's choir. Our choir? Why? Cornelia asked in amazement. They even played a tape with us singing My Heart Will Play For You and The Good Shepherd, with you singing as the soloist, of course. And Cornelia asked with great curiosity. Well, then the president started to rebuke all the teachers because none of their schools could make such a beautiful choir. He also said the children's choir at the church sings better than the television choir, and that is unacceptable. That's wonderful, Cornelia laughed. What else did I say? I hope nobody hears me. I went on in a low voice. The president said that the teachers should come and spy on our choir practices. See what this Genovieva does with the children and do the same. Does she give them candies? How does she attract them? You see, they don't know anything about the Spirit of God. He also said that he would try to steal you from the choir. So be very careful. Don't forget that you gave your voice to God when you were 7. Oh, Genovieva, that's why I came, Cornelia said early. I want and the children to pray for me. They called me in and proposed that I sing on television. I felt tempted, especially by trips abroad, which they offered me. That is the dream of my life. Some other children arrived, and I quickly made known Cornelia's need for prayer. Do you remember when we went to Bucharest on a trip? Asked Mirela, the girl next to Cornelia. We sang in churches. We were put up in the Baptist seminary, and Mrs. Bărbătei received us very well. She cooked a meal for all 40 of us with her own money. I remember how she gave you a special treat, a box of chocolates. Yes, I remember, Cornelia replied, thoughtful. We all slept on mattresses in a big hall, and we had a good pillow fight. It was so nice. On that trip, it was my birthday, and the church on Strada Poparosu gave me a doll that was almost as big as I was. I still have the doll in my room. It was the only doll I have ever had in my life. At this, her eyes filled with tears. Other memories suddenly flooded her mind. When I was 7, I gave my voice to God and promised to sing for Him alone. I renewed my promise many times in my prayer in front of the children's choir. How could I forget that? A few more days passed. The time came again for her to be called to the conference room. She sat down in the same chair, nervous but sure of her decision. "Hi, Cornelia," they were all smiles as they greeted her. "Well, what is our little soloist decision?" asked the television man. "Well, when I was a little girl, I gave my voice to God. I cannot take it back. I want to sing in the children's choir." 5 shocked faces stared at her from around the table. Their smiles disappeared, but Cornelia knew that God was smiling down at her, and that was all that mattered, whatever the consequences of her decision.